Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Agent Wealth Network. And you know what we do here. We help real estate agents and brokers to not only increase their business, but also their wealth. And every week I have a very special guest, a guest that's one of the top in the business, whether they're the top trainer or broker or agent. And usually they have some, type of technology or software, whatever that they share. But today I have a very special guest. He is a super agent, in fact, one of the top agents in the United States. He's from the Midwest in Illinois, where the Hankers comes from, actually Wisconsin. And and just a word about that when I was at Procter and Gamble, we used to hire people out in the Western United States because those people were kind of out of the box thinking and, kind of culture moves from the West to the East. And then we would recruit people in the Eastern United States for the intellect and the Harvard and whatever. But we always made sure that we had on our teams at Procter and Gamble people from the Midwest. And the reason why we did is because they have heart. And so let me introduce to you Slav Polinski. And Slav is a man of heart. And welcome so much, Slav. We appreciate you being on the show today.
Oh, Dr. Hank, and it is truly an honor to be included on your show today. And those were some extremely kind words from you. Thank you very much.
Well, we talked yesterday together, and you're just a great guy, and it's just a great family man, and have a grandchild, and gosh, I saw on Facebook where, and we'll get into this more, but where you had, I think it was 100 pies that you were giving away for your client appreciation. And I mean, I just haven't, I've heard people give away pies, it might be 10 or whatever, but you just had so many. So you're such a kind man. So if you would, share with us how you got into real estate, because probably a lot of people think, oh, well, this Slav guy is a top agent doing over 10 million, a year. And he must have been in the business for, 20, 30 years, whatever. And so can you share your story with us on how did you get into the business and how long ago was that?
Great question. And that was 2013. So I was with UPS for over 30 years. I started out of high school. That helped fund my college education for a while.
Wow.
And it became my full-time job for many years to help put my take care of my family, put my kids through college, and so forth.
Sure.
And in 2008, something happened where I had a spinal injury. I had a herniated disc in my neck. And so for the next 4 years, that was the first of four surgeries, one on my neck, three on my back. And in between that, probably about 15 epidural injections in different areas of my spine.
Oh, bless you.
I tried going back to work several times, and at that point, I kept re-injuring my spine, so I knew that time was over.
Yeah.
And actually, they didn't want me back. And I don't blame them.
Sure.
So while I was going through, the 4 years of surgeries and rehab, my wife Lori, who you've met, had a virtual assistance business, and one of her clients was a top real estate agent in Downers Grove, the town that I'm in. And to occupy my time, I started doing some of the internet marketing for her. And that is how I was introduced to the real estate industry. And so in 2013, I had to make a decision on what do I want to do with my life. I am collecting a partial pension from UPS, but it wasn't enough to really, carry us over. And really, I wasn't done at age 51 of keeping myself busy and having fun with life. And so I thought I'd give this whole real estate thing a try. And that's what we did. Kind of like mid-year of 2013 is when I started into real estate.
Yeah. So we're talking like 5 years you've been in the business and have built your business to 10 million. And then the other incredible thing that I think all people would love to hear and understand is that not only did you, just start a few years ago, but you have never used a leads program.
No, I never have. I never actually sold a thing in my life before that. Well, actually, I take that back. I think when I was 12 years old, I sold my bicycle to my neighbor friend for $15. So that was the extent of my sales experience, and I'm really I joke with my managing broker all the time. So I don't know why you hired me, you really, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, no sales experience, and then no leads. And the other thing that I think everybody would love to hear is that no cold calls. You've never made a cold call, is that correct?
This is correct.
That
Absolutely.
so now we get into the meat of it. And so tell us, what are your secrets? How did you build over $10 million business? And basically, it's you. I mean, you have some assistance help, but it's not like you have a big, huge team or whatever of agents that are doing this. And so can you share with us some of your secrets and how you built a business with no leads, no cold calling?
Absolutely. So I'll start from the beginning. One of the first things I decided to do was to partner with one of the top agents in our office, and she took me on as a mentor. And
Uh-huh.
that her experience was just so valuable. It really shortened the learning curve for me. I learned how to handle buyers, learned how to handle listing presentations much quicker than if I was to do it on my own.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of that. And the other things that I started doing was I really love, both Lori and I love this community that we live in Downers Grove. And our
That's
kids
good.
went to school here. They signed up for all the programs, but I never really got involved within the community. And
Yeah.
at that point, I also felt this need to give back to our community. So I started joining clubs like the Kiwanis Rotary Club. I got involved with the local chamber, and I really started doing a lot of work to give back to the community. And
Wow.
that is one of my avenues of referrals was from
Yeah.
the work I do in the community.
Oh man, that is just wonderful. Your town kind of sounds like, and Sharon and I, my wife Sharon and I were talking last night about your town kind of sounds like the Hallmark movies, I mean, it's just this, wonderful. It's snowing out and everything, and it's just kind people, and you're participating in the community. So really, I think you want to consider maybe getting the movie business next through Hallmark.
Yeah,
So,
wonderful people here. We definitely enjoy living here.
yeah, that's fantastic. So, and for us listeners now out there, that let's make sure that we take notes. I already have taken notes on, for example, um, the partnership, partner up with an experienced agent, and there's lots of people that will help you. At eXp Realty, in fact, we take new agents and we give them a mentor. We almost kind of demand it, require it because it's just so helpful. And so in the first three deals, you have a mentor. And then another thing is that you just said that it's this giving back and giving back to the community. And as I introduced you as and believe that you're just a wonderful, kind man. And so you have a big heart and we can all be that way. And, maybe we don't live in one of those communities that are as quaint and snowing, whatever. But you can make the community the way that you want to, and then joining clubs and really participating. So you get in, you kind of understand how to communicate, how the real estate business works and everything through a mentor. You join some clubs, but there's got to be more than that because and so I'm assuming it's probably something about building relationships.
Well, absolutely. I look at this business as a relationship business. One of the things I hear a lot of realtors say in our office and around is their comment is we treat every transaction as like it was our own. And when I think that comment really misses the mark,
Yes.
because to the people who are buying their home, especially that first home, or
Yeah.
if they're selling their home and moving on to another experience of life, it's more than a transaction to them. This is a life moment for them. So if you're treating that as a transaction, well, you're not treating it with the importance that it is to your clients. So I always look at it with that importance, and our clients have always appreciated that. And the referrals have just taken off for us for the last couple of years. Our clients are happily referring us to their family and friends.
Yeah, and that's a key. It's this happily, like, you're not begging for referrals, whatever. They're happily doing it because they realize that you really do understand where they're at. And I like using thoughts like, this is the American dream for them to experience. And I remember, and some of us take that for granted, but I remember I had a big time mortgage guy. And the reason why he got into mortgage, he's a billionaire. And, but he started he was an immigrant and he was from Mexico, got to Florida. And so he just worked. He didn't have much education. He just worked, and he saved every penny he could to buy a home. And about 2 weeks before he bought this home, and he had scraped up every penny, that they said, oh, the mortgage people said, oh, you need more money. And he's going like, I don't have any more money. So he went to friends and relatives and tried to scratch it all up. And he bought his first home. And when he tells his story, he has tears in his eyes. He's crying over, and this is a billionaire. He can buy any home he wants to now. But that actually drove him to own a mortgage company so they wouldn't have a similar, experience and no surprises like that. But it really is impactful, and for all of us to realize that this is a big thing. This is typically the biggest financial responsibility. And then, I'm involved with charities, and some of those charities are like that they support building homes. We build homes around the community here, and there's all kinds of data on the family is better educated, they have better medicine, they stay together. There's just so many other things that come with this. This isn't just a house, it's a home, and a home for families. So that's beautiful. So so how do you then, so you really take care, and you embrace, and you become the client and understand, where they are, that this person, wanting to experience American dream. And then from there, like you said, referrals take off. How do you, connect with then your previous clients and with their referrals? And so maybe let's go first with, how do you continue to connect? Because, the home buying cycle, it might be 3 years, 5 years, whatever. So you're not seeing them in between this time. Can you share with us any secrets you have about that?
Sure, absolutely. It's really no secret. It is keeping in contact periodically with your past clients and not forgetting about them. There is a study where real estate clients were contacted and asking if they were happy with their service. And they said yes, and asked if they would use that realtor again, and they said yes. And however, there's only a small percentage of past clients that actually will use the same realtor because they lose contact with them.
You are just right on that, yes. And I've seen some of those reports, and that it's like, I mean, it's free business, and you didn't have to do any marketing, nothing. You just had to stay in contact. So how do you stay in contact, Slav?
Well, so Lori, my wife Lori, she's on our team. She's kind of like our chief operating officer, and she kind of keeps me in line. So these are the people you need to contact today, and I contact them. And it's not salesy. I just call in, see how everything is going, and how their family has grown, to talk and make it about them. And then, so we make 2 calls a year, personal phone calls. And then we have 2 client appreciation events that we have. So you mentioned our holiday pie delivery, which we started that last year, and our clients loved it. They were happy to see us. We gave them a pie. We talked to them for a few minutes. So this weekend, we will be delivering over 100 pies, probably putting on about 300 miles and seeing our past clients. And we love it. We love it, and they do too.
Wow.
In the summer, we have an ice cream socials. We had an ice cream social this year. We hired a portrait photographer to take family photos for our clients. We had a caricature artist drawing caricatures of people. It was a real fun event. Plus, of course, we had the ice cream. So kids face painted. Again, it was a party for our clients. And
Yeah.
It turned out great. People showed up, and again, it was staying in contact with our
Yeah.
clients, letting them know that they're still important. It wasn't just the transaction, and now you're off to the next one.
Right. Yeah. Got it. So up front, you don't treat them as a transaction, and
Mm-hmm.
then during it, of course, we can talk about that. But then afterwards, to keep in contact. And so, if I understood that correctly, that with every client that you have, you contact them twice a year,
Correct.
and then in addition to that, and that contact is a phone call,
Correct.
and then you have two client events where you invite them all to like an event, or you give them all like a pie.
Absolutely. So I guess I should kind of maybe rephrase that. So I do two calls during the year, but then I also call to let them know about the ice cream social coming out, as well as a regular formal invitation card that they get in the mail. And
Uh,
the same thing before the pies, just to let them know which day, around what time we'll be there, and gives
oh,
us a reason to give them a call at that time as well. And
yeah,
in between then, we do mailing postcards, flyers that they receive, and as well as our monthly newsletter that they receive via email.
yeah, yeah, that's great. And so I know I've been working for over 20 years with agents, so I sometimes I have the pulse, if you will, and our pulse, and both of us are agents, and so is our audience, and agents are brokers, and so some people kind of they cringe when they think they have to spend some money like on this marketing materials. You send them a card and everything, and first of all, that yeah, you probably I'll assume that you could actually net more personal income, but you reinvest in your business and you reinvest in these people, and so you're taking some of your income out and being able to kind of give back again and really invest in your business. How much can you share with us about how much on marketing materials, or yeah, because again, I have a lot of people thinking, oh, I got to spend thousands of dollars on this. And again, you've built a huge business now. And, but maybe how did you start on that? Like, maybe the first year that you started to do how many mailings, how much does that cost or whatever?
Sure. So that's a great question. So when I started out as a realtor, I had no idea what worked and what didn't. So, and I was bombarded, of course, with companies like Trulia, Zillow. We could get your name out there. We'd send leads to you, and they were very expensive.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Anywhere from $700 to $1,000 a month
Mm,
for Zillow leads, which really did not was not profitable and was not a good return on investment for us. I know for some people it works, for us it did not. So it was a lot of trying different things the first couple of years to see what worked and
yeah.
what didn't. And I could say I easily invested $1,000 a month in marketing in those first couple of years.
Okay, you did. Okay, and it was mainly your personal marketing, though. This because you didn't go for any of the Zillow or anything. Because
Well, I did. I tried Zillow for 6 months.
got it,
I did,
got it. Yeah.
and it did not work out. And
Oh,
so I found it more profitable to invest in my own personal marketing to reach out, personal touches to current clients. And
yeah.
from the small group of clients that I had in
Uh-huh.
the beginning, that really all of a sudden just blew up exponentially over the last couple of years.
That's great. And so, what was the small number about? How many clients was that? And
Sure. And if my first year, I entered real estate probably in March or April. I
uh-huh.
only sold maybe I think 2.5 million, but I was
Yeah,
the rookie of the year. So we're talking maybe 8 to 10 sales that first year.
yeah.
I took on renters at that time. I took on anybody that wanted to see either rent a house, rent a condo, or buy. I took everything on so that I
Yeah.
could start building up my client list.
I see. Got it. Got it. And how many about clients do you have now?
We have about 150 current and past clients, and
Okay.
that doesn't include people that contacted us but haven't really made a commitment yet. So I
Yeah.
do have people contacting us through our website.
Uh-huh.
However, a lot of times, it's sometimes people just want to browse around and look
Yeah.
for now.
Kicking tires. Yeah, kicking the tires. So it's really incredible. So you basically have taken it, you do all different types of business, whether it's the leases, and you still do that now. Is that correct?
No, I'll do that for past clients if they have a
Yeah.
family member or friend that really needs help to do a lease. However, it's just specifically buy and sell. Ratio this last year was probably around 65% on the sell side as far as listings, and then the rest was on the buy side.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. And of course, listings is, I always teach the path of least resistance. And so it's, God knows where we are, knows where we're going, and there's this path of least resistance. I always
Mhm.
tell everybody listings is the path of least resistance. And
Sure.
so 65% of yours are listings, which is just incredible. And really, I mean, 150 clients that to do over 10 million. So this doesn't take a lot, and I bet most people that agents that have at least been in the business for a couple of years probably have that many clients or know that many people, whatever. And brand new agents, we have all kinds from inexperienced, very experienced agents, and probably those new ones, I bet they could get at least 100 people that they know, friends, relatives, whatever that they could know. But you basically built a real estate empire with 150 now clients that you have. And so you primarily do the listings. And so can we get into now some of the specifics on, like, let's go into these phone calls when you touch base with them. What do you say? Are there any strategies that you have that because I think people are, even if they know them or they haven't talked to them for 6 months and they call them, and it's like, what's the opening line, or what do you typically do, or what do you say to yourself, in order to make this really go well, these calls?
Well, these are past clients, or so I treat the phone call just as if I was calling a friend. Uh, they all remember you as a realtor. They
Yeah,
know why you're calling. They know that you're checking in and just to keep yourself on top of their minds, so they know that. However, I don't make it uncomfortable for them where we just talk about
yeah.
referring. I
Mhm.
just started out talking about how are things going in the house, what changes have you made, how are the kids? I mentioned their kids' names. What are they up to these days?
Yeah.
Uh, and I really make it the phone call about them.
Okay.
And
Great.
and at the end, I do say that I really enjoyed working with you, and I enjoy working with people like you. So if you ever have anybody that you hear that is either looking to buy or sell, just please keep me in mind, and I would be very grateful.
Yeah, boy. That's just powerful. And again, I want everybody to write that down. And because you're watching a recording of this, I would go back and just listen to those words, because it's really, again, the wisdom of the ages of, being kind, being interested, and making it about them, and talking about them. Now, how do you have, like with 150, for example, that list, how do you remember that they have kids? Do you have a system, where you remember some specifics on how the transaction was, and them, and what's it about them? So because when you're calling, you're just not giving a name and a number. I assume you have a CRM, or what do you use?
Right, exactly. We do use a CRM. We've
Okay.
tried a couple different ones, and I did do a real estate coaching program with Brian Buffini. You
Uh-huh.
may be aware of him, and he has a
Sure.
CRM called Referral Maker. And
Uh-huh.
it's so far it's worked really well for us. We put
Awesome.
every time we make a touch with the clients, whether a phone call or stop by, I always cell phones are fantastic. You take
Yeah.
notes, voice activated, and you can say what any important information they said, uh,
Yeah.
expecting a new baby, or or whatever, and then we put that all into the referral maker. So then when I do make the phone call, I bring
Yeah.
that all up, and all my notes are right there, right in front of me.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And does that, just out of the referral maker, does that do anything else? Like, does it automatically reach out, or anything like that? Does it touch base with them, or is it mainly for your own internal use?
You could set it up to automatically reach out. However, that's not what we use it for. One of my assistants is in charge of doing personalized reach outs, nurturing emails along with the newsletter, and that's what we do with that. We transfer the database from Referral Maker over into, we use MailChimp for our newsletters and emails.
Yeah, yeah, great. Yeah, so do I. And so that's wonderful. Now, can you, how often on MailChimp, how often do you drip them then? Or, I really don't even like the word drip. I mean, everybody knows what it is, but how
Sure.
often do you contact them and with your good heart that it's not a drip campaign. It's, a way to touch them. And so how often do you do that and what kind of information?
So newsletters once a month, mid-month every month, and then we do emails twice a month. And
Okay.
they differ from past clients to people that maybe have signed up on our website but really don't want any contact. So we have
Yeah.
two different emails going out.
I got it. Okay, got it. But does everybody get, so everybody gets the monthly newsletter and at least one email then?
Two.
Or they get two, it doesn't matter who they are, that
Right.
they get two. Okay.
Mhm.
And on the newsletter that, how do you do that? Like, do you buy a service that has a newsletter already, or what do you do? Do you actually write a newsletter?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when I started with Caldwell Banker, that's who I'm with, they had
Yeah.
a generic newsletter
Uh-huh.
that I did use at the time.
Yeah.
However, every other Caldwell Banker agent used the exact same newsletter. And when I started getting the exact same newsletter sent to me from other agents, that I was sitting, I knew this was going to be a problem. Um,
That's great.
there are so many realtors in the industry, which is great. There's more than enough homes to go around.
Sure.
But the important thing is to differentiate yourself from other people.
Yeah.
You don't have to compete against them. What you're trying to do, or at least what I was trying to do, is get my own clients that are attracted to my style and how I work and my philosophy. It might be completely different from another realtor, and that's okay. I
Sure.
don't believe in competition. I believe in creating relationships, creating opportunities.
Mhm.
So we created the newsletter through MailChimp. And so the first part of the newsletter every month is I do a personal video to all the people on my list, clients and past clients and future clients, just as a general message for the month. Like this month will be about November and the month of gratitude. So I will do a short video on the attitude of gratitude. And then the other articles will be links to other articles, whether it might be fall maintenance tips, Thanksgiving recipe ideas. There'll be another link to the current market recap that they could click on, and so forth.
Yeah, yeah. And so does Lori do a lot of that then, as far as that other work there? Get it?
No, so we have one of my assistants, Noel, he takes care of that.
Okay,
So
great,
just to
great.
kind of give us a quick summary of our team,
Yeah,
Lori's kind of like the vision person. I have
right.
Lynette, who is a transaction manager who handles all of the paperwork and keeps on top of all of the contingency days so I could take them out of my mind. And then Noel
Yeah,
takes care of the newsletters and emails.
got it, got it. Great. Awesome. So basically you have a team of, including yourself, four.
Correct.
Yeah, that's great. And then again, it's kind of back to this money, but and not to too much get into what you're paying, but um, can you like is this reasonable? Or I pay, like, I have an assistant. I pay $20 an hour, and I think that's probably pretty high. But she's so good,
Mhm.
and, so efficient. I'd get somebody else, and I'd still be paying the $20 per hour, but it would take the other person twice as long. That thoughts on how much? What is the price range for that, and how did you attract them also?
Lori did the research on that. So,
That's great.
I'm so thankful for the work she does. And
Yeah.
Lynette, we found through a local ad that Lori placed, and she interviewed quite a few people. And
Uh-huh.
we actually, before Lynette, we tried two other systems that just didn't work out. And it's tough decisions when you're in that position, but you have to move forward.
Right.
Lynette has been a godsend since she started working with us earlier this year.
Yeah.
And all the same thing. Lori did the research on that and found all very reasonable. So the one thing that's very important is,
Yeah.
and I saw this in our office, a lot of realtors who have been around for 20, 25 years, they hit a max on what they can earn because there's only so much time in the day for
Yeah.
themselves because they're doing everything. They
Right.
can't do anymore. And
Uh,
so is it worth investing $18 or $20 an hour in assistant,
yeah.
which would allow you to do uh, $300 an hour work to
Right.
attract more clients? If you're doing the transactions, you have all these contingency dates floating around in your head, you can't meet new clients. You can't go out there into the community and go to the events, meet new people, and so forth.
Right, right. That's just fantastic. Well, that's great. So now I'm thinking about also the conversation when you get a referral now. So you have a client, they give you a referral, and I guess I want to even back up before then. When you're talking to your client and you get that referral, how is that conversation? Do you have the client do anything, or how is that discussion, first of all, with the client getting
Oh,
referral?
sure. Absolutely. So the clients usually will let me know who they're referring to me and get me their information, kind of a lot of times general information, what they're looking for.
Mhm.
And then, of course, I thank them. What we do right away is we send them a card, personalized card, and a little gift for thanking them for the referral because that is huge. Because what they're telling us is they're trusting us with either one of their friends or their family members. So it's that important, and we want to make sure that they know that we appreciate it.
Wow.
When I make that initial phone call, again, I make it about them. I'm not selling what I do or what I can do. I want to know what their situation is, what they're looking to do, and what's important to them as they move forward, whether either buying a house or selling their house. What are their future plans? What do they see themselves in the next month, 2 months, year?
Great. And how do you start that out? Because you're basically, you haven't met them yet. And so can you just kind of go through? So let's say I'm just a referral as far as what are those first couple of sentences to, break the ice or whatever. So I ring, ring, you call me and I go, hello, I'm the referral. And what do you say?
I started out with, hello, Dr. Hank. How are you today? My name's Slav Polinski. I have been referred to you by John Smith. He said that you may be interested in buying or selling a home, and I'm calling to get a little more information about that. Do you have a minute to talk right now, or is another time better?
Wow. That's it. Again, you guys
That's
need to
it.
rewind that.
Mhm.
I mean, really, because it's just, it's great. It's easy. It's to the point. You don't beat around and, you're honest, whatever, and transparent, I guess it's, good word on that. Well, that's fantastic. Do you have, we have a few more minutes here, and is there anything else, Slav, that you'd like to share with us that have been really one of your secrets? Because when we think it, as we all have listened to you now today, that it's really incredible. You have, a list of 150 people in essence, happen to be your clients, and that you just treat them so well and give them these thank yous to referrals and, are contacting them regularly, doing client appreciations. And so it's all just doing, helping them and staying in contact with them and be kind to them. And so, do you have anything else? Did I miss anything, or would you like to share with us anything else that you use for your secrets to build a substantial real estate business?
Well, I don't know if it's a secret. It is showing up every day, working your butt out at something
Yeah,
you really enjoy doing. It has, and you hit it earlier with your story about the American Dream, which is
yeah.
similar to my family's. We came from Poland in 1965,
Wow.
a whole family of six. We came from a very poor farming community with absolutely no running water, electricity. We had three families living in one house.
Oh
Um,
my God.
3 years later, my mom and dad were able to buy their first home. And even though I was a small kid, first grade at the time, I remember the excitement of them buying their first home as we were moving in. And this is a family that came from very poor beginnings. 3 years later, bought their first house. And I remember how special and important that was. And I carry that with me. And behind me, I don't know if you can see, there's a picture
Oh yeah.
of my family right in front of the boat, the ship that we came on from Poland. We are off the boat.
That is just fantastic.
But I carry that thought with me with every client that I meet because it is that important. I truly believe that it is part of the American dream. It is one of the most important life events in a person's history, whether it's their first home. One of my clients, they did a very cool thing. I helped them sell their home, and that was part of their retirement. They email me all the time and call me. For last year, after they sold their home, they traveled the world trying to discover where they wanted to retire to. And after a year, they finally decided in a little town in Mexico. And stories like that just make my day because that is truly what this business is about and why I decided to go into real estate.
Oh, that's just fantastic. I just got God bumps on hearing that. Most people call them goosebumps, but I call them God bumps. But I got God bumps on hearing that, Slav. That it's just incredible that and so with that, and so we can really feel that desire there on how you can really help people on that, and it just takes this to a whole new level on. This isn't just about working, doing that. And is there a good, if people would like to get in contact with you and probably just say thanks for, all your wisdom you've shared with us today, is there a good place that you'd like to send them to?
Sure. Our website is downersgroveliving.com, all one word. And if they want to give me a call or text me, my phone number is 630-624-9615. And I have one last tip if we have time to share.
Right.
So I did mention that I took on a mentor early in my career.
Yes.
And I believe that whenever somebody wants to grow, the easiest way to do that is to connect with somebody that's at the level you want to get to. So when we wanted to get to another level, I took a high producing realtor out to lunch and we spent 2 hours. And that 2 hours gave me so much insight and information that I could not have received on my own. And there are so many people out there willing to share their secrets and their stories. All you have to do is ask.
That is just fantastic. You bet. Ask and you shall receive. And it's all a matter of us asking. And so, Slav Polinski, I'd like to thank you so much for being on the show today. Just a heck of a guy, heck of a guy with a big heart, and really on how to connect and how to build your real estate business and to build it with heart. And so, it's really not these techniques. It's more about really coming authentic you and being like Slav Polinski and this kind man that is connecting with people and helping them and just has a passion to help others. So with that, I thank you, Slav. Again, if you want to learn more, go to dochankwebinar.com where you'll learn how to increase your business and wealth. And so with that, this is Dr. Hank saying, hey, everybody, thank you so much for attending. Slav, I thank you and happy holidays. This will probably come out right around Thanksgiving. And so, Slav, we thank you so much for being on the show today.
It was my pleasure, and thank you, and happy holidays to you and your family.
Hey, thank you. And to all of you, happy holidays. Dr. Hank saying bye-bye.